Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So I'm super excited to be using this palette here. This is a new palette by Maybelline, and if you watch my channel, my last video was on the L'Oreal Peach palette, and I have to say I'm definitely more excited to try this palette out. I'm gonna do a full face of makeup today, but I really wanted it to be around this palette. I'm gonna use all Drugstore products in this video today, guys. My brushes are Morphe for the most part, and those are also very inexpensive. So anyway, guys, this is the Maybelline Lemonade Craze palette. This is not scented. This is not a scented palette, but this is the color scheme of this palette. And one of the reasons why I love this palette is the way the colors are. It is amazing for beginners. For example, if I cover my hand here, you could use all those top colors together and make a nice neutral look. You could take these darker shades and make a gorgeous look with that. And then you can even further break them up into 4 palettes. Each little square has at least one matte in it. So for example, you could take these 4 colors up here, put that in the crease, put that all over the lid, highlight with that. Same thing with this here. You could put those in the crease, put that on the lid. This one has 2 mattes. You put that in the crease, make the outer corner darker. So you get these 4 colors, and I think they did that specifically for people to know what colors will work with what. Now, you don't necessarily have to use those groupings. You don't have to use all, I'm going to take a mixture probably of a lot of different things in this palette. But like I said, this is great for someone with that's a beginner. Also, this palette has names, unlike the L'Oreal palette, which just had numbers. And the names are so cute on this palette, guys. They just go with the theme of the palette, all the names. And then on the back, again, if you're a beginner, these palettes are great. I wish these were in color though, so you could better see what they look like. But if you don't know or you need some inspiration, you can also just follow the 3 little looks that they give you on there. Now, I'm not gonna follow those. I'm kind of just gonna make up my own, but let's start off with doing some swatches, guys. You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I think seven mattes in this, and then you have 1, 2, 3, 4 shimmers, I believe. I could be wrong, but let's go ahead and swatch these here. I'm gonna just swatch them right here, guys. Let me zoom in on my arm so you can see how these will look. This is the first color, which is called Sherbet. This is a very light skin tone matte. I'm gonna do 1 swipe for these so that way you guys can get an accurate idea of how these will look. Next is Berry Ice. Again, that's a light matte. Next is Sunnies. That in the palette looks like a very light matte. Next is Main Squeeze, which is one of the bigger shades, which is a shimmer. Next we have Strawberry Lemonade. Next is their yellow shade called Lemonade Craze. The next shade is a shimmer, which is called Citrus. The next shade is the reddish color called Ice Pop. Next we have Coral Punch. I'm gonna go turn my arm a little bit. Then we have Sweet Tea. Next we have Old Fashioned, which is a dark brown. And then last we have Sugar Coated. So there you go, guys. Those are all of the various swatches in this palette. All right, I'm gonna start off with my eyes for this look, guys. Let's zoom out. All right. Anyway, all right, let's start. I'm not gonna prime my eyelids because I want to see how well these are gonna last throughout the day. Just like my last video, check a little bit later and I will do an update as to how I feel these last throughout the day. All right, so let's get started. Get all my brushes. I will zoom in a little bit, guys, so you can get a better idea of what I'm doing. Get my mirror. All right, so I'm gonna start with Sherbet, the color right here, just to put that all over my lid. Now these are powdery. Let's see if it'll zoom in. You know, so you can see that powder on there. So keep that in mind. I'm gonna go ahead and put this all over the lid. This is just a basic shade that I love that are in palettes, especially if you use an eye primer. It's just a great shade to dust all over the lid. If you use an eye primer, it's just great because it's gonna set down that primer and you're not gonna have any tackiness, and hopefully the shades aren't skipping. All right, so now let's start going in with our crease. Now when I did the L'Oreal Peach palette, I did a more neutral look. So this time I think I'm going to do a more dramatic look. So to start, guys, I think I'm gonna go in with this yellow shade, Lemonade Craze. I'm gonna go in with that yellow. Let's see how this goes and if it has any pigment, and let's pop this yellow color into our crease. We're getting some pigment. I definitely think this palette is more powdery. Do you see that powder on there? It's definitely more powdery than the L'Oreal palette for sure. I'm gonna go in a couple times to build this color up. You guys should be thankful I'm zooming in. I have a lot of redness. If you guys can't, this is my skin type. I have a lot of redness. I have dark circles. That's why I love full coverage foundations. So this is my third time dipping into this. Now, I love finding drugstore palettes, but you can definitely get a yellow shade. For instance, Jeffree Star has his palettes. It's gonna be a lot more pigmented. You're not gonna need to dip in 3 times to get the color payoff you want. So anyway, we're gonna use this yellow as our transition. I think that's as bright as I will go with that. I think next I'm just gonna go right into Ice Pop, the red color there. And I'm gonna switch to a brush that's not quite as big as that one. And I'm going to go in with another Morphe brush. This is my M441. Let's dip into this red. This is what the brush looks like. As you can see, the color is on there. Now we're gonna put that into our crease, but I'm not gonna fluff it up as high as I did in there. I'm gonna keep this a little bit more in that socket area. We're gonna blend that in there. I'm dipping in again. I'm not topping it off. You can if you want, but there's not, these aren't like super duper pigmented. The pigment's there, but it's not a lot where I'm placing my brush down and I can't blend it out. This is my third time dipping in, because again, these definitely aren't the most pigmented. So that's what we've got going on so far, guys. The look definitely comes together once you start putting foundation on. When you have like an uneven base like this and you start putting these bright colors on, you might look at this video and be like, oh my god, that looks horrible, that looks crappy, but you have to wait till the finishing product. I always tell people that when I do their makeup. I hate when people look at themselves when I'm doing their makeup, because they'll look in the mirror and be like, what's going on here? I have bright red and it doesn't look too good. But trust me, guys, makeup a lot of times looks very strange in the beginning, but once you start getting closer to the end, everything comes together and it looks awesome. So far these are definitely blending nicely together, guys. I don't have anything crazy to complain about. I'm gonna go in one more time. I want to get just another coating on here. Now I will say I kind of lost almost all of that yellow. So I'm gonna go back in with my initial fluffy brush. I'm gonna go back into the yellow, which is Lemon Craze. Again, look at that. Zoom. So these are definitely a little bit more powdery. So I'm just gonna take this and graze it above this pink here, just so I can get a little bit of that yellow back. I'm not blending it all the way down. I'm just keeping it right on top of that pink, just because I want a little bit of that color still on there. Now that I'm zoomed in, you guys might be like, your eyebrows are crazy. Yes, yes they are. I rarely pluck my eyebrows. I like to keep them as natural as possible. I will go in and pluck kind of like hairs under there and right in here, but like all of this, I just like to keep it how it is, because when I take my makeup off, I want it to look like I have eyebrows. No offense to those of you that pluck a lot or anything like that, but that's just not the look for me. And when I'm not wearing makeup, I still want to look like me, you know, dark circles and redness, but at least my eyebrows are still there, you know what I mean? All right, so that's what we have going on so far. Now, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the next darker color, which would be Old Fashioned. This color down here, I'm gonna take that brown and I'm gonna put that on the outer corner and maybe bring it in a little bit. I'm using another Morphe brush. This is my Morphe M433. Actually, let's go with the pencil brush, just so I can kind of keep that color where I want it. This is a Morphe pencil brush in M138. So I'm gonna dip into that brown and I'm gonna kind of pack that in there. Now this definitely could be more pigmented. And the problem with eyeshadows that are really fluffy, they kind of blend away, which is very annoying. They kind of blend away to nothing, which I don't like. See, look at that. We don't really have much dark going on there. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna build up the red more instead. So I'm gonna go back in with Ice Pop. I'm gonna put more of that into my crease. And I'm also gonna pat it on the outer corner. Just keep this nice and colorful. I'm gonna clean up that outer line, guys, so disregard that. As you can see, I think I've gone in like 10 times to build up this red color. All right, now that we've built that up, I'm gonna go back in with the yellow one more time. Lemonade Craze. Now I feel like that one, Sunny's above it, would barely show up. It's not quite picking up on camera, but it is a very, very pale yellow, guys, but it's looking almost white on camera. Anyway, I've got the yellow on my brush. Again, I'm dusting that right along the top here because I still want that brightness. I was trying to make a bright look. I have to say I'm a little disappointed because when I look at this palette, I think, ooh, I'm gonna make some bright looks with this, you know? But as you can see, I'm dipping in. I'm not tapping off my brush. Look at the yellow. I'm tapping in. The yellow is on there. And then I'm brushing it on the top here, guys. And after you do it several times, you kind of get the color. I'm gonna go back in with that other brush, no product on it, and I'm just blending that pink again. All right, my eyes are looking blue though, I have to say. All right, so now let's go in with one of the sparkly ones. Let's see, it's gonna take a flat, well, let's show you how it looks without wetting it first. Okay, so I'm gonna go into Main Squeeze, which, by the way, this one up here, Main Squeeze. This is how it looks with no Fix Plus. Very lackluster, not impressed at all. Let's try wetting it. Even the shimmers are too powdery, guys. Like, let's wet it. Let's see if we can get a difference. Much better. All right, guys. This is what the top half of our eyes are looking like. Let me zoom you in. This is what I was able to get that look like. As you can see, it doesn't look choppy. They blended, but you just needed to dip in tons of times, which isn't cool. So anyway, that's kind of what we created today. I'm gonna zoom you guys out now. I'm gonna take a makeup wipe We're gonna clean up a little bit. We go back and do the lower lash line in a bit. So I'm gonna use a makeup wipe here. What I'm gonna do, let me zoom you in again so you can see what I'm doing. If you watch my videos, you see me use that technique where I lie something on my face to do a line, but sometimes I don't do that. So I'm gonna take anything that's under the eye first, and then I'm just gonna take my finger and make sure it's pointed. And I'm just gonna kind of clean it up like that. Now it's cleaned up a little bit. We don't have it like drooping down as much. Also a tip, guys, if you have hooded eyes, drooping lids, you don't want the shadow coming down this far. It's gonna make your eyes look more droopy. You want some type of uplift, so it gives the illusion that you have uplifted eyes. Alright guys, so we're gonna leave the eye makeup like that. I'm gonna zoom you out. Now we're going to go in with foundation. So since I'm gonna use all drugstore products, I will be using my Maybelline, I think maybe a 124 soft sand. I'm gonna go in with my Sonia Kashuk sponge. You can get these at Target, her brand. I typically dip some foundation onto the back of my hand, see how much I want. I'm gonna take my sponge, and then I'm just going to start putting this all over my face. The product I've really been liking to cream contour with is the Maybelline Fit Me Sticks. These are their Shine Free and Balance, and I haven't tried it as an actual foundation yet because I bought a darker color and I wanted it specifically for contouring, but I have to say the few times I've used it, I'm definitely impressed. It blends out nicely. It has like a clear center to it, which is like their powder center, I guess, but it works really well. So I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna draw a line there and a line there. And put a little up by my forehead, and I'm also gonna put some on my nose for a contour. My jawline as well. I'm gonna take my sponge and I'm gonna blend that out. These blend really nicely from what I saw. So now let's go in with some concealer. Try out this Wet n Wild one. I'm gonna put this under the eyes. I'm gonna put a little on the chin to highlight that area, and then I'm gonna do a little on the forehead. Again, you want to be careful not to get your concealer on that line we created. I'm going to set that now with my Maybelline translucent powder. I love this powder, but it definitely gives a light cast, so I will typically set my under eyes with it with the sponge. As you can see, I'll blend that out, but you're more slender. We highlighted our chin, so I'm going to put it there, and I'm going to put it right here. Now instead of packing it on, I'm going to take a fluffy brush, and I'm kind of just going to hit the spots lightly. Now, I'm going to go ahead and do the lower lash line. I'm going to go ahead and take this Maybelline liner. It's a brown one. In the shade Glazed Toffee. I'm going to put that in my waterline. Alright guys, I'm back. My stupid camera had too much videos, so I had to go back and delete some old videos. But as I was saying, I put the Maybelline on my lower lash line and I ran it through my lashes. I took a very thin coat of my L'Oreal Telescopic on the upper lashes, and then I used my Wet n Wild brow pencil just to lightly fill in my brows. So let's finish off with the lower lash line. Guys, we're gonna go back into the Maybelline palette. I'm gonna take this flat definer brush by Morphe, and let's see, what do we want to do? Do we want brown? Do we want the red? I'm thinking we take a little bit of Old Fashioned, the dark brown. I'm gonna put that right near my waterline. And now I think I want to blend that out with a color we didn't use. So why don't we go in with Coral Punch? It's that color, it's not the red one. I'm gonna take a pencil brush and blend the lower lash line. Let's just go in with Sunny's. It's that really pale yellow color up there, just to tie in the look. I'm gonna use this pencil brush. I'm just gonna highlight under the brow. It's just a nice pale matte color. Ooh, baby, that's a little powdery. And then I'm also going to take that same color. I'm just going to pop that on the inner corner to make it nice and bright. So look at that. Alright guys, let's go ahead and pop some lashes on, which I haven't done in a while. I'm gonna go in, I love these. I had to buy another pack of them. These are the Kiss Lashes in Opulence. These are the more expensive ones at the drugstore. These cost $9.99, but I love these and you can reuse them several times. So I'm gonna go ahead and put these lashes on and then I'll be right back, guys. Alright guys, I'm back. I put on the lashes. Don't mind my watery eyes. Oh my god, I used the Duo Glue, which I typically don't, but it was a big pain in my asshole, and I hate that fucking glue. Anyway, let's move on. Let's do a little contour slash bronzing. I'm hoping my eyes stop watering. Anyway, we're gonna let the eyelash glue dry. This is by Milani. I picked this up recently, but I'm really liking it. The particular color I got is Dolce, which is 09. And it's not the most pigmented color, which I kind of like, because how many times have you gone in with a bronzer and you're like, oh crap, I want a little ham, and then you can't get it off. The color that I got was the most neutral color that they had. They had two other that were a lot more warm orangey, but I didn't want anything too crazy. And these remind me of the Hourglass. You know, those bronzers. I actually returned those because I got them and I was like, for the price, I don't think so. These are literally exactly like it. They're baked. Let me see if I can swatch it for you. See how it's like, it's very light. Okay, that's what it looks like. Very rarely, it doesn't even really pick up the shimmer. So anyway, I'm gonna go in with a brush, and I go ham in this baby because, like I said, it's not crazy. I'm gonna go in there. And the reason why I wanted this one is because I like to like contour slash bronze at the same time. Some people use totally separate colors for contouring, and sometimes I do that, but sometimes I don't. If it's a color like this where I can kind of just warm up my whole face and kind of get that contouring, I'll do that. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it all along the perimeter of my face. I'm going to take it, put it under my chin. Because as you know, who doesn't want to get rid of their double chin? I'm going to take this on the side of my nose and see how it works. See if we get any shimmer or not. But as you can see, I'm not really picking up much shimmer on my face. I'm going to dip into this, avoiding those gold spots. I'm just going to run it up and down my nose where the cream was. And as you can see, I'm just adding to that a little bit. Okay. I'm gonna go into that a little bit more. Yet to try the Maybelline Fit Me blushes, but I love the powder so much that I wanted to do it. Get it. All right, guys. What color did I get? Number 40. Does it have a name? Peach. So this is what it looks like. Let's do a little swatcheroo right up in here. Just a pretty color. I'm gonna go in with a duo fiber brush. We're gonna dip into this and see what we think. I love the Fit Me products. So as you can see, you again, with Drugstore, a lot of times I've noticed it's not super duper pigment. You do need to go in a few times, but again, that's good for a beginner because you don't want to go in too crazy. And I'm crazy and I like dramatic makeup, so you might be like, whoa girl, calm down, you're going a little crazy. But this is the type of look that I love. Extremely full coverage, give me the contour, give me the eyelashes, give it to me, you know what I mean? All right, okay, I should probably stop. So there we go. Let's now go in with a Drugstore highlighter. This is the Wet n Wild Mega Glow in Golden Flower Crown. I feel like gold, peachy, red, these will all go together nicely. I don't use fan brushes. Where's my brush? I like to use like a small brush like this that's, you know, dense, because I like to really pack the highlighter on. This is a Sephora brush, so it's the only thing that's not Drugstore. So we're gonna go ahead and put that little baby, woo, look at that, gorgeous, Wet n Wild. I mean, come on, do you guys see that freaking highlighter? Amazing, I love it. Wet n Wild is so weird because some of their stuff I try and I'm like, oh my god, it looks ridiculous, but this, look at that. Definitely want it on the tip of our nose. Holy girl, we went a little cray cray. I'm gonna put a little smidge down my nose. We should probably dust that a little bit. If you think you went crazy, just go back in with like a powder brush, but whatever. All right, so before I do my lips, I want to put a little powder down here. So I'm gonna go in with some of this Coty Airspun. This is their translucent extra coverage powder. This smells like an old woman, but what are you gonna do? With my fan's on, so watch stuff get blown everywhere. All right, sorry I keep messing with my hair. I have a fan on and it's like getting in my face, driving me crazy. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and take my sponge here. Actually, you know, let's take a brush. We're gonna take this flat kind of brush. I'm gonna dip right into this baby and coat the bristles. I'm gonna stamp out. Boop, 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 boop. You can see it all blowing away. Typically, your contour should run from the top of your ear to the corner of your mouth. So if you went crazy while you were like blending out your cream, just take a powder, stamp out where you want that contour to end. Do, 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 do. Okay. You guys, if you could smell this, no joke, every time I smell it, it reminds me of a grandma. No offense to grandmas out there. All right, we're almost done. Let's go in with a couple new Maybelline lip products I got. They're not new products, but new colors. This is the Maybelline Color Sensational Lip Liner. I got it in the color Purely Nude. And then I picked up the lipstick, their matte lipstick, 540 Peach Buff. This was like their nude matte line. So let's first, I'm gonna let that bake and set while we go ahead and do the lip liner. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this lip liner on, guys. I like to color down a little bit so that way if the lipstick fades a little bit, we still have a little bit of color. Okay. Let's see what we think of the lip color. I got glue everywhere from those freaking eyelashes. All right, my nose is running. I don't know why. Maybe it's this weird powder. All right, guys, this is color 540 Peach Buff. Let's see how it looks. It's their matte color. It looks just like a pretty nude. A little swatch of it right there, guys. Let's see what we think. I feel like it's a little bit more cool toned than our lip liner. What do we think? It's a little bit too pink for my liking. I'm not really into like the super pink stuff, but yeah. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a brush and let's brush away this powder. See how it kind of just helps clean that up a bit? Alright guys, so let's go ahead and use some setting spray. This is by Skindinavia. Oh, look, I got it freaking, look at that. I hate this duo glue, guys. It's so annoying. It takes like 500 years to dry. It's like getting stuck to my lower lashes. Anyway, guys, what do we think? This is the final look with those products. I have to say, since it was basically based around this palette, my thoughts are, if you're on a budget, I would get it. It wasn't bad, but I was a little disappointed in the pigmentation of the colors. Like, I originally wanted to put this dark brown here on my outer corner, but I packed it on with the pencil brush, and then when I went back in with the other brush to kind of blend it out, it literally blended away into nothing. This is definitely more powdery than the L'Oreal Peach palette. Yes, it did the job, but as you saw in my video, to build up that red color, I went in numerous times with this palette. So that's kind of iffy. You definitely need Fix Plus to make these shimmers look nice, but let me zoom you in. As you can see, guys, I was able to create a pretty look. You know, it didn't, and they blend together. They don't look choppy or anything like that, but the pigmentation just isn't there. Will I use this again? Perhaps. I'm not going to say I'm not going to use it again, but it's not something that I'm going to be like, oh yeah, let me reach for this palette. If it's in front of me, maybe I'll use it. But yes, I will reuse it, but it's definitely not a go-to. Overall, I'm happy with the look, guys. I think my makeup looks cute. I like it. I'm liking the look, you know? So anyway, guys, my next video is going to be testing out those L'Oreal chocolate lipsticks, liquid lipsticks, whatever they are. So keep an eye out for that video, guys. Don't forget to thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. I'd really appreciate it. I really want to reach 1,000 subscribers, guys. So yeah, that is it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and subscribe, guys. Woohoo! And I hope you have an awesome day.